Hey guys, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. And I'm doing a video on DHCP Relay. What is it? How do we configure it? And DHCP Relay is a configuration on a router that's used to forward a DHCP request to a DHCP server that is not on your local subnet. So if you look at this network here, we have a device that needs an IP address, and we have a DHCP server on the same local subnet. The 24-bit subnet mask, the network ID is 192.168.1, and you can see here DHCP server, 24-bit subnet mask, the network ID is 192.168.1. So we're on the local subnet, and this device can get an IP configuration from the DHCP server without any issues at all. So we'll go into the PC2, and we'll go to Fast Ethernet 0, and we'll just select DHCP. Right now it's set to static. We'll select DHCP. And there we go, just like that. We have the correct IP address, and we have the correct subnet mask, just like that. No problems, easy peasy. No need to set up a DHCP relay because we're on the local subnet. So what happens if your DHCP server is not on the local subnet? What do your devices need to do to get an IP configuration? So let's go to PC1 on this network where the DHCP server is off the local subnet. And we'll go to config, Fast Ethernet 0, and we'll select DHCP to see what happens. So what's going to happen? What happens if we try to get a DHCP request and reply without it being on the local subnet? What happens is you get what's called an IPvChris address. An IPvChris address starts with 169.254, and this address is an automatic private IP address given to that device if that device cannot get a reply from a DHCP server. And that it can't, because the DHCP server is off the local subnet. A DHCP request is a broadcast message, and a router stops broadcast messages from leaking out into the network, other networks. It stops at the router. So in order to forward that DHCP request from the router to the DHCP server, we need to set up a DHCP relay. So let's go into the router, go to the CLI, and we'll go into global configuration mode, and we'll go in the command. So the way it works is you want to set DHCP relay on the interface that is receiving the DHCP request. So PC1 sends out a broadcast message, a DHCP request. It goes to the switch broadcasts that message out all ports. The only port on this network that it's going to forward it out of is Fast Ethernet 0/2. So the message goes out this interface, and then it gets received on the router's gigabit 000 interface. That's the interface you want to establish DHCP relay on. So what you're saying, you're configuring the router, what you're telling the router to do is say, hey, if you receive a DHCP request on gigabit 000, send it out gigabit 001 to the DHCP relay server and have them send it back through the router. That's all you're doing. So let's configure it. So we'll go into the interface gigabit 000, and the command is IP helper-address, and then you're going to put in the IP address of the DHCP server, 172.16.1.2, and that's all you have to do. It's that easy. So let's check our work. We're going to do a show run, and there we go. On gigabit 000, we have DHCP relay configured right here. So let's see if it worked. Let's go back to PC1 and config Fast Ethernet 0, and it already corrected it. It already set it back up. So we have the correct IP address with the correct subnet mask now. So that's DHCP relay. It's that easy. We're sending a request from the device to the router, and then the router is relaying that message to the DHCP server, and the DHCP server can send back a reply, and it worked. So that's DHCP relay. That's how you configure it, and that's what it is.